Hey, greetings everybody. Welcome back to the Skipper channel. Today got something new lock picking here because these are two great Abloy locks, and haven't picked this one yet, but there are some good videos by Crispix out there picking this one and showing you that one. But I just kind of want to show you a feature, these two locks, and Abloy in his past history has seemed to have made two of these big container locks. This one was, I have no idea how old it is and when it was made, but it has the Abloy profile core. I mean, this thing is a beast. It is, really thick. Just sit there and show you. We're going to do by millimeters here. So let's just take kind of take that off a little bit. We can show you the actual lock body. It comes in at about 80 millimeters across. As you can see that, 80 millimeters by 80. So 80 by 80, and the shackle on this little bad boy is probably going to be a whopping 15 millimeter shackle. And this thing is literally just a beast of a lock. It's wonderful, very solid, very hard. Anyway, yeah, that's a 260. Yeah, this one is definitely used. It's been used before. And I just got lucky to find one of these Abloy 260s, and it's on my collection. But anyway, what we're going to do here is something brand new that Abloy came out with this year. And it's the Abloy 685. And yes, this is a brand new lock. I just took it out of the box. I've got my key codes for it, got my keys, all that good stuff. And the one thing about these is they do come in Protec2, which is a Black Belt 3 keyway. And this is really neat. Let's just get straight down to looking at it. This thing comes in at 96 millimeters wide. There you go. Sorry for the reflection. 96 millimeters wide by 72 millimeters high. So this is one big beast of a lock. But the one thing that this doesn't have that their previous 260 had is this shackle features a 12 millimeter shackle. Plenty for what you want to use it for, but also having a 12 millimeter shackle is going to allow you to put this thing in more applications if you happen to come across one, which honestly these things have been so hard to get. It's more of a collector item for me than anything. So anyway, kind of want to share that with you. But anyway, what we're going to do is kind of just take this apart, show you how to get into it. So anyway, like I said, it comes with Protec2 keyway. It does, have a shackle here. It does work beautifully. You stick it in, rotate, pull it right out. It is not spring loaded. It does have a very, very large ball bearing. Let's see if I can get my angle just right so I can show you. Maybe zoom in. I'll tell you what, we'll show you that to you in a little bit. That locks this thing into place. It is not a spring-loaded ball bearing, so this thing will not be shimmed. So anyway, but I do need a shim to disassemble this thing. So the first thing you have to do with this, of course, is unlock the lock. Then the shim is going to go up underneath right here. And it just slides in very, very, very easily. This is a very, very thin shim. And let me just get that in there, and it's in place. I'm going to just grab it on this side just to make sure it doesn't move, because when I pull this out, we're just actually going to bypass the, I just missed it. Let me get this thing in here again, hold that shim in place, and try it one more time here. My shim is moving on me. Gotta get that shim all the way out here beyond the shackle in here. And there we go. We should be able to come right out with it this time. Okay, there we go. Got the shackle out. So to start disassembly on this, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and pull that out. The bolt retainer. So just a little spring here. Let's just go ahead and grab a little tray here that we can set here to put things on so we don't lose them. So we're just going to put our shackle right here. Retaining pin right there. And the retaining pin, what it does is it's spring loaded so that when you pull this thing open, it comes in right here. And I'm going to try to brighten this thing up. There we go. Trying to get some reflections also. It gets a little bit brighter for you guys. There we go. It comes in here and it just stops this thing from coming all the way up. And so that's why you need a shim to put in there to keep this down so you can pull your bolt out of the way out. So once you have that in place and you got your bolt out, you need to come grab your Allen screw. And on your Allen screw, you'll come in right in down this right here. And this happens to be the 2mm screw. And you can just feel it engage right away immediately right there. So we're in there. And I want you to look, this thing does have to go in at an angle to catch it. It's all the way down into the bolt here. So we'll just come in here and start turning away. And then once I know it's out, I'm going to turn this thing upside down so I don't lose my stuff. And just go ahead and pull it right out right there. There we go. We'll set it right there. Now we're ready to take the core out of here, in which I am not going to disassemble this core. I have done Protec2 before. You can see that on other videos of how I do that. But what I will do is show you how to get this out. So right here, I noticed this hole that's right here, and it is grubbed out for a screw, but I have no idea what it's for. So if anybody knows what that's for, send me a message in my comments, let me know. I just haven't been able to figure that out. But one thing I do is, Abloy did have this core pinned right in here with their thing. But I can tell you right now, this thing is so hard to get out. That's just the extra security level there. So anyway, I'm going to stick the key in right here, back of the key, and I'm going to start to grab the outside of this thing, and we're going to start to turn. Now, I had this thing open one time before, and I've put some lube in here to help me get this thing spinning a lot better, hopefully this time. But the key is about the only thing that I had that would start to spin this thing. So again, we're going to put this right here, try to get it going good. And it is very, very, very tight mechanism right here to get this open. And I'm sure you get yours, if you have one or look at it, you're going to come across the same problem I did right here. Is just getting this thing started to come open, because they did not, unlike a lot of their other locks where they cut that in tight. I'm going to zoom in so I can show you. That's what I'm saying. This is just like extra level security stuff. Well, maybe not, but there's just very, very shallow cut right there to grab this thing with. So, Abloy must have a special tool just for their dealers just to get in here to rekey these things. But anyway, I'm trying to grab it with that key. The key does fit it, so if you do have a key, it works. But like I said, it's just and this thing is not spring loaded. It's just a very, very tight machine fit on this one, and it could be just this particular lock that I'm getting right here. And I'm trying to make sure I keep this. Let me go ahead and zoom out for you guys so I don't lose you on camera. There we go. But anyway, of course, if that grub screw wasn't out, this thing wouldn't even budge. So as difficult a time as I'm having right now, you can imagine if I didn't have a key or a grub screw, what kind of fit I'd even have on this thing. Yeah, y'all be just laughing at me. You probably are already. Anyway, like I said, we're trying to get into this. I've been into it one time before, and I've even got a little bit of light oil inside of this thing to hopefully make it go better, but it is just being difficult. So let's just see. One thing I found before is if I grabbed it, turned the lock, it did better. So yeah, still same thing. So let's just do that. It does better when I turn the lock. There we go. I think I've loosened it up enough that I can grab it. My fingers, perfect. Okay, get this out now. Got this part out. This is just the just a retaining ring to go right in there. And here's one thing I noticed on this. This lock has a door on it. You know, we all know what I mean. You know, the weather protection on it, so that you have to push down in here to open it up. Which, you know, this is just a little piece right here. Key just goes all the way in, and it, you know, really doesn't do anything for security except for two things. It does act as the spinner in the lock, so that it will, you know, the stainless steel spinner. So instead of having a stainless steel spinner, this thing will spin if somebody tries to drill it out. So it does act that, and then also, I mean, that's just another step you have to go through to pick it to even get to the core, which is going to be this deep in here. Again, you're talking black belt 3 keyway. It's something you're not going to worry about being picked in the wild. But anyway, pretty cool. We'll set this here. Get back in here, and here's the core. So with the core, we got this in here. I'm going to turn this a little bit and just pull it right out. And I already knew the orientation of the core, so I didn't want my sidebar and all to find out. But I turn my lock upside down, pull out this way, that way, the sidebar, everything stays in place. You can see it's very familiar of a Protec2 core, just a few slight differences that we'll show you real fast. You know, we do recognize the spin limiter right here that keeps you from only opening lock so far. But on this one particular core, you can see the actuator on the back is, you know, not cut out like it you usually, you know, familiarize with, where the whole thing has a ball bearing. There's an actuator inside of here that controls the ball bearing drop. So, and that's where it grabs it right there. So anyway, pretty cool. You'll be able to, you know, get in there and look and see. Now, again, now I can show you this this huge ball bearing that's in here. I don't know what size it is, but it's right there. Sorry guys, all right, let me readjust here. Don't know what size it is, but you can see it right here. It is absolutely a huge ball bearing that's retaining that shackle right there. And you know, when you turn that key, that bearing drops, of course, allows the shackle to open. And then you can look right inside and we can see the actuator that was inside right there. So anyway, we're going to put this back together real fast. Go in reverse order so we all can see. Again, I'm going to start with the lock upside down, just like this. And I'm going to zoom out again so you don't miss anything. And then I'm going to keep my eyes down on the lock. Again, my actuator is vertical. It should go right in because I didn't do much locking, unlocking with it afterwards. So, you know, push it right in, and then it just seats right in. One thing I do is I do turn it and test it to make sure, and I think you saw it, that ball bearing drop right there, make sure it does work before I start assembling anything else. Because you can actually put that core in and it might be just a fraction light. And if that ball bearing's not dropping, your lock won't go back together. Now, here's a skipper tip. I'm going to try to find my tweezers that I laid down somewhere. There they are. And I always just take tweezers, put them on both sides of the keyway. When I pull out, that way my core stays in place and doesn't try to pull out with it, just in case it's catching anything. So now we've got that in place. Drop your spring back in. We can start to get to it later. Actually, I probably did that in the wrong order, because what we're going to do first is take this grub screw and let's just go ahead and get that out of the way. Get that back out so we don't mess anybody up. So don't do that first. You'll take your cap, take this right here, and of course, you know, make sure you're putting in the right way. It does not go in that way. It goes in the wide part bottom, so that the door part is all the way at the top. So you'll just drop it right in, and right in here, and then you can see it's almost flush right to the top, and then you can just start taking your door and put it right here. Now, one thing I do want to notice is you see these cuts right here. Okay, I'm going to zoom in again so I can show you. And yeah, it might be rarely coming, but you can do this on any Abloy. right there where the grubs are that you catch, 90 degrees, 90 degrees is where the core retaining is. So just always remember that. Make sure that when you put it in, I'll show you here in a second, close this back up, that you put it in, make sure it's 90 degrees around. Now, like I said, these things are brand new. This was on a special order lock. You cannot just go out and get these off the internet. If you find one on the internet, it's because somebody, I don't know, selling theirs from their who knows what collection, or if some government agency decided they didn't need theirs and sold it off. Anyway, like I said, we come right in here and put this right in now. One thing is, if you over tighten this, you're going to tighten your core up a whole lot. Now, I want you to notice that this barn door is not horizontal, but we know the Protec keyway is like this. So, I'm going to go ahead and take that, just not even do it all the way and turn. Now, you see, I can feel it grabbing the core a little bit on the inside, so I'm just going to kind of test it real fast and see. And yes, it does open and turn, but this thing is really tight, and I like my Abloys to work really smoothly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this back a quarter turn, because like I explained before, your grub holes for retaining your core are on 90-degree angles. So I'm going to just turn this core, just the top part only, to line up with that. That way when my key fits in, I'm able to grab those pretty easy and just turn it just like this. So now I'm at 90 degrees up, which I know when I put my grub screw back in, it's going to sink in just great. Put this in, and yes, it is not super like loose where I can just like knock it and turn it, but it does turn a whole lot smoother, very easy, and it's in there very tight. So now I'm going to grab my grub screw right here, and I'm going to go right into this hole here. Now remember, we have to go in at an angle. So we're going to go in at an angle. I'm going to put it right in here. Now here's one thing is, unlike other Abloy locks, you can put that thing in, stop right there, and it'll work just fine, but it's not locked in. So you want to make sure, again, that you're at 90-degree angle and that you're locked all the way in, because even though you saw a difficult time I had getting this out and around, you still want to make sure it's locked in solid. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to just kind of turn there. My core won't turn. That won't turn. I'm just going to kind of grab a corner here and just kind of force it one way or the other, and that thing is not budging whatsoever. So I know my grub screw has engaged really good. So be sure to do that with it. Just kind of check it to make sure that your grub screw is in. Again, this is the 685. It's a beautiful, beautiful lock. The Abloy just came out. Now we're going to grab this, take it right in here. Going to drop it right in here, and as you can see right there, you can see it right inside, ready to go. So all I have to do now is take my shackle. I'm going to push right up against it, and don't even need a shim anymore. I'm just going to take my tweezers, or I can actually just take this right here and push it down, and just close it all the way up just like that. Now, you said it's not closed all the way up, Skipper. Of course it's not, because for me to get it closed all the way up, I've got to unlock, let that ball bearing drop to re-engage right there. And now we're locked back up. Again, this is Skipper's new lock that he got in. Got a few more for some of my friends. These are very, very expensive locks. They're not going to be cheap, so if you find one, don't hesitate to grab one. They're going to be hard to find. I had to actually put a special order out with a friend of mine who owned a company who partners with Abloy, and he did that for me, and it took us about, I'm going to just guess, 8 weeks, 8 to 10 weeks just to get them in. And so, and I know my friends are sitting there holding on to these things, are like, yeah, it took me so long to get this thing, paid so much for it, I'm not letting it go, because These are just absolutely new, brand new, just introduced, just right out. Abloy 685 in Protec2, which is one of the best mechanical keyways in the world. This thing just like all Abloys, they go first class on it. Abloy's first class. They go right there. Skipper locks all this stuff up with Abloy, but I got a few extra of these just hanging around because, it's probably going to be a real emergency before I put one of these on something that I really want to lock up, because just how rare this little bad boy is. Just like, how rare it is to find one of these. I looked for 2 years for a 260 Abloy and finally was able to find one. And had to go halfway around the world, ship it halfway around the world to get to me here. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, it's not a lock picking video because Skipper doesn't have the skills yet to pick a Protec2. And so anyway, well, Skipper hadn't even tried to pick a Protec2 yet because just a lot of respect for that keyway right now, and I know I'm not going to attempt it until I can get into some lower black belt 2 locks before I even try the black 3. Anyway, somebody who has picked it, Chris Picks has a great video of picking it. Lock Picking Lawyer, I have not found a video of his with him picking Protec2. McNally, shoot man, he's a great guy bypassing locks. Dude, I'd love to see if there's any type of flaw on this one. I enjoy your videos, enjoy watching them, and he's a beast on bypassing stuff. So anyway, those two, they make really good videos, but I think somebody trying to legitimately pick one of these it would take a little bit too long for anybody want to watch it. Anyway, hope you enjoyed it. Give me a shout out. Ask any questions you may. This is, like I said, just wanted to feature this out today. Abloy 685, ladies and gentlemen. What a beautiful, beautiful addition to the Abloy line of locks. Hope you enjoy it. Have a good night.